my god. Hey guys. Oh my gosh. And we're back. And we're back. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. I'm breaking out. I'm breaking out more than I ever have in my life. My god, but life's good. Life's okay. I don't know if I've ever talked about it on here, but I was an Accutane baddie. Because I was on Accutane, my acne, as it does on Accutane, it cleared up. It cleared up when I was like 15 or 16. And I was like, great, my life's fixed. Life should be kind of uphill from here. And then, of course, as life does, kind of shit on you again. And I started breaking out all over again when I was in college. And I was like, I don't want to go back on Accutane because the first time I was on it, though it cleared my skin up, I the side effects were maddening. I had like the worst back pain I'd ever experienced in my life, chronically. Um, for that like year or so, I was on Accutane. The driest skin known to man, which is the whole point. It dries out your skin, but like, oh my god, my face, like every part of my body was peeling, every single part. So I was like, I don't want to go back on it if I don't have to, but I just might because I feel like I'm starting to break out all over again. Just kind of as a person in many areas of life. My face, everything is crumbling. My personality, all everything is just kind of falling apart and peeling. So it's really a metaphor. Accutane as a metaphor for the way my life is falling apart and I need a band-aid. So I don't really have much to talk about also because not much has gone on. I think my last video I just posted, I put so much work into it. And by work, I mean I talked so much longer than I've ever talked because I had so much to speak about, because so much had happened in my life in the span of a week and a half. And I was like, oh my God, let's sit down and really unpack this. And Bieberchilla had happened at that point. And so I just needed to talk about Bieber any second I could. And I guess I can talk about him now also, a Bieber continuation, if you will, because he did play Coachella weekend two, and it was even better than the last, if that was even possible, because he played One Last Time and One Less Lonely Girl. And then he also brought out SZA, which is incredibly, and really in a way, economically important to me. And you can kind of unpack what that means, but it mattered a lot to me and it was a big deal. I watched it live and watched the TikToks and the edits of him, and that was kind of the way I contributed to society in the last couple days. So, not much again to talk about going on in regards to my life. However, it did remind me how much I love music. Like, well, I didn't need to be reminded of this. I love music. I am a music lover through and through. And I feel like as a music lover, like my tastes kind of transcend genre. I really do. I make fun of my friends that like country music and say I don't like country music, but the tea is, and they found this out slowly but surely. If you go on my Spotify, okay, yeah, there's a country playlist. Okay, yeah, there is. I love kind of every style of music. Yeah, there's a rock playlist. Okay, shut up. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's a pop playlist, and of course there's an R&B playlist, and of course there's my hip hop playlist, and yeah, there's my electronic pop playlist. And yeah, there's a couple random metal songs that have made it into the pack. Okay, yeah, you can kind of get me into any sort of music. I'm willing to give it a try, and I love all kinds of music. And I think things like Coachella or just like festivals in general, music festivals, are built for someone like me because I can go any day and know I'll like enjoy whatever I come across. Like I'll find a hidden gem. If not hidden to the world, definitely hidden to me. It's something I find that I realize I like, and I'm gonna add it to the playlist. And considering I'm a person that loves music that much, it's so funny that I don't go to music festivals often. It's actually not funny. Really, the reason is money because they're so expensive now. Um, which is it just sucks. Everything's so expensive now, and I'm not hey, preach to the choir, you know what I mean? We all know it's expensive, but life's expensive, but it just sucks because there's things like that that I enjoy and I'm obsessed with. And yeah, and so after Coachella, I was like, "Oh, I wanna go to Coachella." It's been my dream since 2011, and I'm not being fun. I was like, "Whatever this is where and what I wanna be when I'm a grown up." And here I am a grown up and can't afford to go, and that just sucks. But hey, c'est la vie. We'll figure it out. C'est la vie. But you know what is coming to New York City in June that I'm like, "Okay, I think I need to just shell out the cash and go," because I can just pay for my ticket and then spend the day there because I don't it's in Queens and I can just travel to Queens for Gov Ball. I think I want to go because, especially the Sunday date, because it's a bunch of people. It's Japanese breakfast. It's ASAP Rocky. It's Geese is there. Slater's there, and I'm excited because her music fucks. Like her music is so good. She's all over. I have a cunt playlist. Wait, hold on. Let's really get into this. I have a playlist called Cunt, right? As we all should and do, I think. And I actually would love input on this. If anyone has thoughts on what I should add to my cunt playlist, I would really appreciate it because it's probably my or one of my most listened to playlists, but cunt playlist. Also, if you want to follow me on Spotify, you don't have to. It's Kayla. See if you can find it. Right now I have 107 songs, but I'll give you artists. I'll give you kind of the landscape of what artists are on here. And okay, we have Crystal Waters, of course. We have Madonna. Um, it's Raining Men, specifically the Weather Girls. Tons of Lady Gaga, Destiny's Child, Nelly Furtado, Whitney all over the place. Um, like kind of all of Renaissance, kind of that entire album. Um, we have Donna Summer, Azalea Banks, more Destiny's Child, a good chunk of RuPaul. Thank God for RuPaul. Janet Jackson, Everywhere, Anywhere and Everywhere. Britney Spears, Anywhere and Everywhere. Um, we have a Missy song in here. We have Whip My Hair by Willow Smith, one of the greatest songs ever made. And I think I've talked about that on here before. It's truly a phenomenal piece of art. And I'm not being funny. When I say that, people always like laugh, but I'm not being funny. I'm being so serious. I think it's so good. Oh my God. I remember the first time I heard it when I was like 10, and I was like, this is what music is meant to be. And it's meant to inspire you. And I'm leaving the listening of this song feeling inspired, feeling like I should what? Whip my hair. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Nikki, rest in peace. I used to love Nikki, and this, I actually need to remove her from this playlist. Sad but true. Sad but true. Um, a lot of Charlie XCX, Murder on the Dance Floor. That song's on here. Blue Control, of course. Hit 'em up style. A lot of Beyonce, a lot more Britney Spears, some more Donna Summer, some Fergie, more Beyonce. Who's my favorite artist? Can you guess? Um, I have Hole on here, the band Hole. That's like random, but like it's Celebrity Skin, and so it makes sense with everything else. Kesha, and now we get into the like uh electronic pop hits because we have Rebecca Black, Sugar Water Cyanide. If you've never heard that song, go listen to it now. It feels like you're on ecstasy in the best way. Um, some Miley on here, more Britney, more Kesha, some Mariah, some Katy Perry, um, some other like electronic random like pop hits. A Dua Lipa song on here. If You Seek Amy, Britney Spears, that's another song where it like kind of changed the trajectory of my life, and I'm not joking. Some Chapel in here, Pretty Ugly by Zara Larson, phenomenal, phenomenal from start to finish. And then kind of Slater all over the place. Kind of all of the Worst Girl in America album. That entire album's on here. And then some Doechii and some JT. It's good. But yeah, that's my cunt playlist. I don't know where I got on this topic. Oh yeah, because I want to go to more music festivals. I love music. And I think I need someone to convince me to just go to Govball. Just pay the like $200 or whatever for the ticket and to go, and someone to tell me it's not a waste of money, and how open I am to different kinds of music. Because there's a lot of people that love music, but are also like kind of pretentious, music snobs that are like, if it's not this genre or not these specific artists, which isn't a bad thing, but like if they're like, it's not these things, then I could give a fuck. Where I'm like, I'll go and see everything and like give it a try, and then I ultimately will end up loving it. Oh, so what's happening here? It's like on my cheek now. It kind of goes though with something I've been thinking about, how I need more spontaneity in my life. That's why I'm going rock climbing today. After work, I'm gonna go rock climbing. Um, and I've been thinking about that. I'm like, I don't do spontaneous things enough. And I sit at home and I'm like envious of all these people and their lives on my social media. Another reason to get off social media and what people are doing. But I don't go and just do things. So like last night at 1 a.m., I was like, I kind of want to go rock climbing. I want, instead of just like being envious of the life people are living, just or the kind of stability people have that I don't in my life right now. Let me just go and live and like figure it out. And so I'm going rock climbing because I just wanted to go rock climbing. And so I'm just going to do that. And I texted my friend and I was like, want to go? Let's go. And yeah, and that kind of spontaneity. And it's like, I'll like, and spend the money, whatever the money is, it's worth it to spend for some life experience. I'm like whatever the opposite. Some people are like, I always spend money, or I'm like, I'm very free with my money, and that's a bad thing. And you like kind of, and they talk about how like they spend consumerism. People that are very much engaged with consumer culture and will buy almost anything. I'm whatever the opposite of that is, where I can talk myself out of any purchase ever, which is a good trait when it comes to being frugal and living within your means. Like, that's a good thing about me. However, what has also happened is I've prevented myself from experiencing anything because I can convince myself it's unimportant. Even if it's something like I'm going to go insane, life has been so stressful. Hey, yeah, Kayla, like, go spend the money on a massage. Like, it actually is worth it because you're on the brink of a mental breakdown. Actually go pay someone to relax. It's okay that it's $100. Like, it's actually okay. Or like something like this. I'm like, I want to go and just do something that challenges me that has no like outcome. It has no like work. There's no work obligation to it. There's no passion or career obligation to it, like making my art, wanting to present it somewhere and wanting it to be successful. There's no obligation other than like making it to the top of this rock climbing wall. And that's just fun. And doing it with your friend that you haven't seen in a while. So, yeah, I just want to be more spontaneous. Also, my neighbors are so loud above me. Another reason I'm like, I just need to get out of the house because with that song that's like, I think I'm gonna die in this house. I think that's from the new Charlie album that she made for Wuthering Heights. I'm not sure. But that's how I feel. And so I actually need to get out of this house. I need to. It's not a want, it's a need. I'm also kind of in a place because I'm making a new piece right now. And I was making another piece of work and I've kind of not abandoned it, but sat it aside for now because I've just kind of found myself moving towards something else, artistically speaking. And it's had me thinking about how I kind of second guess my art a lot now, and I think there's a lot of reasons for it. But I think the major or more primary culprit is social media, and another reason I need to get off of TikTok. And I say it in every episode, but I actually need to hunker down and like do it one day because I find that I am so used to kind of the moral purity test that happen on social media all of the time about everything nonsensically, like it happens all the time. It's ridiculous that I've gotten to a point that kind of the beauty of art is that it's always a reflection of humanity, right? The human experience. And that's why I love art so much. And whatever medium you're creating in, that's what you're doing. Whether it's a reflection of your own experience or the experience of others or how you interact with said experience. It's so multifaceted, so layered, but it is always a reflection of the human condition, right? What we're experiencing as human beings. And it's complex and it's beautiful and it's pure, but it's also dirty and grimy and disgusting and nuanced, right? But we're kind of in an age in social media where there is no room for that. We don't allow for that on the internet ever. And there's a lot of reasons for that I will spare you all today. I don't need to like virtue signal or like preach to anyone. I think you all are smart enough to like have your own conclusions and opinions on it yourself. But what I found is that's kind of affected my art where I have been maybe wanting to discuss something or approach something in my art that is part of that grimy and like nuanced human experience that isn't quite always as like morally clear. Clarity. We want clarity in everything. What is your opinion? What are you trying to say? And then it's other people saying, okay, is this an opinion I think is good or a viewpoint that I think is good or bad or whatever? I think it's been affecting my art a lot because I think I'm unconsciously trying to make something that can kind of that is like morally sound or morally like clear enough and pure enough that I think if I were to like post it on my social media, which you're supposed to do with art all the time now to like because that's really the only way it's going to get seen because the barriers to entry are just growing and growing and growing in this industry across the board in the arts. So I sometimes feel this inkling that I need to make something that's very clear, um and make it that instead of just make the art and tell the story I want it to tell and hope that people want to engage with it. However, and whatever conclusions they come to, whether they get it or they don't. And it's a complex thing. But yeah, I won't get on my soapbox and I also have to go to work. But yeah, thanks so much for listening though. This is a fun I love doing this. It's the best. And hopefully my eyes aren't puffy. They're practically on my cheeks, these little things. So like I think my eyes are still puffy. But good to know my cheeks exfoliated. Yeah. Thanks for watching though. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.